what is driving our mindset? What is driving our mindset as a young person? And I'm going to highlight a couple of people, right? That maybe some names that you already know, maybe some that you will hear about for the first time. And I'm going to highlight them and just because they're popular names. So you hear someone like Tayo Aina, for instance, who is a content creator. In fact, I would arguably say that is one of Nigeria's biggest travel YouTuber, right? You hear someone like Farida Yahaya, right, who is an entrepreneur. You hear someone like David Adeleke, of course, very popular person, Davido, right? You hear someone like Otunayo Ewini, who is the founder of Piggyvest. Someone like Toby Bakare, who is an actor and an influencer. Kemi Adetiba, who's a film director. There's this very popular lady. I don't know if she's still, I believe she's still very popular. Her name is Gloria Olorun Toby. Her stage name is Maharaji. Content creator, amazing person. Then there's this gentleman also, Fisayo Fosudo, if I pronounced that properly, a tech reviewer and a content creator. If you notice, I have not mentioned any engineer or a doctor. All right. My point is that these people found a niche, found what people want, found content, found what people want to pay, what people need, supply it, and they get paid for it, and they are successful. All right. So I am highlighting all of this so that you understand and we demystify the idea of success and stop tying it into the fact that, oh, if I am not a doctor, I am not successful. That is not necessarily true. Okay. So what do all of these people have in common? These random names that I've put together, right? It is that they did not just follow conventional path. They followed the path of value. Okay. They identified opportunities in whatever they are doing, either in technology, in finance, in entertainment, in media, in community work, wherever it is, right? They've identified opportunities, especially areas where demand is growing, either globally or locally, right? And most of them use the internet as a university. They taught themselves or partner with people that have this knowledge. So let's be honest. Science class does not guarantee success. Okay? But serving a real need, solving a real problem, learning a relevant skill, right, is what guarantees success. I'm going to take that again, right? Science does not guarantee success, right? But serving a real need, solving a real problem, and learning a relevant skill just might. All right. So it's very, very important that we understand all of this. I mean, also growing up, and this is still part of relatability, what we are told versus what we know. Growing up in secondary school, many of you were taught that you also have this whole idea of, oh, when I was in secondary school, and this is speaking to the transition that is happening to you right now. You are in secondary school. So in secondary school, you were told when to resume. You were told what to wear. You were told what to read. For some of you that attended boarding school, you had your prep time. It's a very regimented lifestyle, right? Your timetable is set. You have your subject for the day, right? You change your books in your bag as a result of the subject you have for the day, right? Your problem is defined for you. Most of the time, your class teachers will already have a curriculum. They will share the topics with you. You are just attending classes, taking tests, and that was it. But in the real world, there is no timetable. All right. It means that you must plan your own time. And that is the first reality that will dawn on you the moment you leave secondary school and step into whatever is next, either university, tertiary education, or your self-learning, whatever it is. You will realize that timetable, that structure will disappear. It will disappear. So there is no timetable. It means that you must be ready to plan your own time. That's the first thing. Number two is this, that there are no fixed answers. So meaning, as when people say, oh, these are primary colors, these are secondary colors, fixed answers, right? When you get into the real world, you realize that there are no fixed answers, that you always have to find what works every single time. Problems are often ambiguous, right? And they require creative solutions. That's what I have on my slide. Nobody, again, finally, nobody holds you a grade. When you're in secondary school, I got a C in English. Oh, I got an A in chemistry. Oh, and you are excited and your self-esteem is defined by that. My friend, by the time you get into the real world, nobody holds you a grade. You earn value by delivering results. Result matters more than grade when you get into the real world. practical skills are essential. All right. So there is a definite shift, right? As you're transitioning from high school into real world, right? There's a shift from being a consumer of instruction to be a creator, to being a creator of your own path. All right. And that is something that a lot of young people struggle with, and for me, it is important that you don't struggle with that. So in the real world, it's not about, oh, did you pass chemistry? No, it is, can you create something that works? Can you write? Can you design? Can you sell? Can you code? Can you lead? Can you serve? Okay. And let me give you a practical example. Someone with a BSc in mechanical engineering, right? I think I had someone in the audience that wanted to study mechanical engineering, and our host was talking about that car, right? If you have a BSc in mechanical engineering and you cannot repair or design anything practical, all right, or maybe less enjoyable than someone who did a short digital marketing course, all right? Or let me take that again. If you study mechanical engineering and who cannot repair or design anything practical, maybe less employable, that's the word. So you study mechanical engineering, but you can't repair anything, you can't design anything, all right? You are most likely less employable compared to someone who did a digital course on YouTube, right? Or studied marketing on YouTube and can help a small business grow online. That person has more value in the world of work compared to your 5 years of mechanical engineering, So at the end of the day, again, it is value. It is value. It always has to be about value, all right? So understand that, a lot of things will change. A lot of what the world demands from you would definitely change. So that moves us into the next conversation, which is understanding the world that we are in, the future of work, all right? And I have in my slide here, again, I'm not sure if my slide is being projected, but I'll read what I have here, that the landscape of employment is evolving. There's a shift towards skill-based hiring rather than solely relying on degrees. Gone are those days where you'll be like, oh, I think I have better edge over you because I graduated, because I studied chemistry, or because I studied engineering. I'm a lot better than you. That's not true. That is not true right now. Right now, it is skill-based. What particular service are you providing? Companies now hire for skill, not degrees. All right. Remote jobs means that you can work from Lagos for a company in London. All right. The most valuable workers are those who can solve problems, communicate their solution, and also adapt their solution to the environment that they found themselves. So what you need to understand is, of course, am I saying degrees are useless? No. Degrees are not useless. All right. But it means that degrees may open the door. In fact, most likely they will open the door. If you graduate with the first class, if you, just like Oluchi has mentioned, strong 2-1, if you graduate with a strong 2-1, whatever it is, it will open the door. But it is your skill that will keep you in the room. All right. And we're going to, I will run through some of those things. All right. So what I'm saying about all of this in terms of future of work is that your mindset needs to change, because like I said earlier, a lot of things influenced your decision when you were saying, oh, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an engineer, a lot of things influence it. Either maybe the movies that you watched, which was my case when I was growing up, or maybe you had an uncle, that was successful in a certain field, or someone that you look up to, or a role model somewhere, right? But the truth is that mindset needs to shift, because you also need to be proactive. Remember those numbers I talked about earlier, that as the moment you get into that age, that 19, you're already in the productive age, right? And the world needs you, and you need to be prepared. All right. So the first thing is that you don't have to wait to be told what to do. What the world will recognize, especially the world of work, is that you have to be proactive about everything you're doing. So while you're solving problems, while you're communicating that solution, while you're adapting your solution to your environment that you're solving for, you need to be proactive. Okay. You don't just need to learn to pass. Because in school, in secondary school, what you've been told or what you've been taught is to learn to pass. So you're given a set of curriculum, you read it, you understand it, your teacher will test you, you pass, and then you have succeeded. That is what secondary school taught you. But when you get to real world, what is important is that you need to apply what you have learned. At that time, it's not about what you cram, because hey, there's YouTube, there's Google, there's AI. type any question in ChatGPT or Meta's AI, you will see your answer. All right. In fact, I think it was a long time ago. I was talking to a doctor who was trying to run a diagnosis for me on something, and the gentleman was on WebMD. WebMD is like Google for medical doctors, right? I was just typing in all my symptoms that I was saying, and voila, WebMD gave him an idea of what probably is going on with me. It was not a function of what he crammed, right? So at the end of the day, is how do you apply what you've learned or what you know? And then don't just study to survive, study to serve. Okay. I hope this is making sense to you guys. So in secondary school, I'd said it before, life was predictable. You had timetables, you had all this. But after school, the rule changed. The world will stop giving you a timetable, right? And start expecting you to create one for yourself. So you will be judged less by your score on the test, but more in your ability to communicate well, solve problems, think critically, learn quickly, adapt to change, and build things. Even small things, but those small things that work. Those are the things that the world will judge you on. I'm going to take them again. Your ability to communicate well, regardless of whatever it is, from theater art to commercial to science to whatever. If you're unable to communicate well, you will find it very difficult, right, to interact in the world of work. So communication is important. Your ability to problem solve, your ability to think critically, to ask why. Why are we doing this? Why is this happening? Okay. To critique things. Okay. Your ability to think very quickly on your feet, to know where to find solutions, right? Your ability to adapt to change, and your ability to build things, even small things that work. All right. Okay. I hope we are together here. So I'm going to move to the next section of my presentation, which is what. So now that we have said all of these things, what must we start doing now? Because okay, so this gentleman from Jobberman has now told us that can you still hear me, by the way? I just want to be sure. Can you guys still hear me? Any reaction will help, but I am going to assume that you can hear me. Okay, I can see that I have 3 minutes. Okay, so I'll rush what I have next. So what do we need? What is important, right? What are the things that we need to focus on, right? You don't need to wait until you're in the university, by the way, to start building the future. The earlier you start, the more prepared you will be. So number one is you need to start learning technical skills. Technical skills can be any of these: graphic design, video editing, coding, digital marketing, data analytics, UI, UX design, content creation, right? All along. These are things that you need to learn technical skills, right? Number two is you need to develop soft skills. I've mentioned this: communication, confidence, your self-discipline, problem solving. Important, right? Your skill might just get you a job, but your attitude will keep it. So, and that is why soft skill is very, very important. Then you need to explore your interest. It means that you also then need to, aside from you learning these things and internalizing them, you then need to be a part of a bigger group. Okay. So volunteer, be a part of an internship program, look for places where you will work for free. All right. In the meantime, so even while you are in the university, while you are waiting for, I wrote JAMB and I was part of the people that didn't get into a university, that should not define your life. Okay. Volunteer, get into internships, right? Help a business with their social media issues or their social media problems, right? And you will see the kind of value you will get out of it, So the goal is not perfection, but what? Clarity. And then, of course, use career tools like Jobberman. Open a LinkedIn profile. You are not too young to have a LinkedIn profile. If you can have a Facebook account and you can have an Instagram account, then you should have a LinkedIn account. All right. Or a Jobberman account, as the case may be. Join communities. So there are communities, for instance, there's one like called Old School, very, very popular, community like that. There is an Ingressive for Good. A lot of these things can code. I think you can also search for that. Teens can code. You are not too young to start doing all of these things. All right. And then I will quickly rush through key principles to live by. Start small, but start. Okay, you don't need to know everything. You don't need to know everything about anything, but you need to start. So great things start small, all right? But small things don't stay small when they stay consistent. So start small and be consistent. Use failure as a stepping stone. Because you start something doesn't mean that you're going to be successful at it. But use your failure as a stepping stone. Stay curious. Always ask questions. Explore, learn daily. The good thing about our generation, about your generation, is that you have access to infinite source of information. Information is not limited for you. So use it. Use it to your own advantage. All right. Use it to your advantage. Then, of course, the next thing is own your journey. For some people, things will go smoothly. For some people, they call them late bloomer. But the problem is, the thing is, don't compare. Build your own. Because you didn't get into, some people will write jam and they won't get into school for many various reasons. For some, it's not maybe because they even failed. For some, maybe it's finances. For some, maybe it's some mistakes. Whatever it is, right? That should not define who you are. All right. Wherever you find yourself, own your journey. All right. And build. Think like a builder. All right. What can you create? Who can you help? All right. And the thing about builders is they are not necessarily the smartest people, but they are always the most committed people. Okay. So I'm going to round up now with my closing message, which is write your own future. Okay. Right now, you're standing at the edge of possibility, not just as a student, but as a builder of a new Nigeria and a new Africa. Again, like I said, you are going to be the workforce in the next 2 to 3 years. Okay. And there are challenges. And whenever we have challenges in Nigeria, in Africa, breeds greater opportunities. Okay. So if you're willing to start now, and take all of those steps, all of those items that I've mentioned earlier, the sky is the starting point. The future does not belong to the smartest person. All right. It belongs to the boldest people. Okay. People who can choose to build and that they're not just wishing, oh, I wish Nigeria is better. Oh, I wish I have this money in my pocket. No, it's people that can build. Okay. So you don't need to wait for the system to fix itself. You don't need to wait for the system to be perfect. You don't need to wait for a perfect Nigeria. You don't need to wait for a perfect job. You don't even need to wait for a perfect moment. Start where you are, learn what you can, and build with what you have. Okay? Own your growth. Take your future very seriously. All right? Because you are the reason Africa is looking forward to rise. Okay? The world is waiting. And my final quote is this: that you are not just preparing for the future, you're building it. One decision, one skill, and one step at a time. All right. I hope I've been able to impact you. And again, I want to really appreciate the convener, Mr. Olayinka. Thank you so much for having me here. I am very, 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 very excited, to do this. Yeah, I hope this has been good for you. Thank you.
That round of applause needs to be louder. Did we learn anything at all? Yes. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask a few people to tell me 2 things that they learned from today's conversation. Okay? Who's ready? Joe Fransco. You people are always on fire. I like it. I want to talk to someone that hasn't spoken to me yet, but I'll still come back to you with a different question. Young lady over there at the extra. Yes, you gorgeous. 2 things you learned today. Okay. A round of applause for her. Okay, let me take somebody from top building. I'll turn this off now. one problem that you feel needs to be solved. Yes, you. Lack of jobs. Okay. Okay. Opportunities for jobs. Job creation source. Okay, let's now do this, right? What problem can you solve, or what problem do you see that you can solve? Now, this is what the government needs to solve. But you, is that something you're seeing? Because I mean, there are people that decided to pick up something. I'm like, okay, you know what? I think this is a problem that I can solve. This is somewhere I can create value, right? I have spoken to you. Is anybody else from Top Goodness? Nobody. Top Goodness, I've come for you people. You people need to give me energy. I'll come back. Let me hear you.
All right. I think the problem now it's with the people. So for me, I feel that because even this job, if you still give them job and all of that, there are some people who just get the job and still they don't want to work. Some are not still consistent, which is now bringing a lot of harm to the country. So I feel that maybe it could like just like this empowering organization and trying to enlighten people more, try to enlighten people, try to tell them that their future, because they don't look at the future, they're just looking at now. So try to tell them and enlighten them about the future, what's going to happen if they're not careful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Round of applause for him. Young lady, before we move on. Okay. 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 All right. Round of applause for yourselves. Okay. Now, here's what's going to happen before we answer this question again, right? I'd give us a few moments to think about it. I might come back to this question maybe before we close today. But here's what I want you to think about. When I say think about a problem, I want you to think about something that you can solve. Maybe you walk on your street today and there's something that just is out of place. And you're like, why don't they do this, right? Or you go to a store, you're like, I feel like if this person should advertise their business in this particular way, they will sell better than this way. Or I feel like if you arrange your products better in this way, you would actually sell better. Something that you personally can solve. I feel like if you advertise better, you do better. I feel like if you talk about your product better, you will sell better. Something that you can directly solve. Do you get what I mean? Do I need to explain further? You get. So a lot of brands out there have visibility issue, and that's why some of them have decided to go with influencers to advertise their products. And you're like, okay, I know that this is something I can do. This is a problem I can solve because I know that I'm good with. How many of you are on TikTok here? Tell the truth. I've seen your phones. Don't tell me there's no TikTok on there. Are you serious? You're on TikTok. You don't just want to talk. You and I both know you're on TikTok. Right? Nobody's on TikTok here. Okay, your teacher is around. Don't worry. No problem. Don't raise your hand. Don't worry. Instagram, Facebook. Instagram, okay. Instagram, Facebook. Facebook is for old people, right? Like, nah. It's for the older folks, right? You don't do such, but you do Instagram. Then how come you don't do TikTok? It's like that's your generation. Nah. Okay, Snapchat. Okay, I get it. I'm trying to get a vibe of where we are. Okay, Snapchat, Instagram, a bit of TikTok here and there, right? But we see what people are doing online. So part of what he was saying was that, you don't have to do the conventional. I'm not saying don't focus on what you want to do, which is important. Once you have made up your mind that you know that in this area I can succeed, you make sure that you hold on to that part, right? Make sure you hold on to that path and make sure that you succeed in that area. You want to say something? Yes, come on, ask a question. Okay, go on. Okay.
All right.
Content.
All
Yeah.
right. Thank you.
So let's just say maybe because here's the thing. Here's the thing about social media. Social media is what you make
Okay.
of it, right? Not everything you see on social media is true. Sometimes it might just be content, and in real life, it might actually be a relationship. However, they might also just want social media to think it's just content because they also want their privacy. So social media is social media at the end of the day. That's one of the things you guys need to learn because I know that we're at the age where we're consuming a lot of social media, and sometimes you are not sure of what you're seeing, and you might want to be like, okay, I want to be like this person I'm seeing on social media because this is what's up. But my darling, it is social media. It's literally just like looking at a mirror. Whatever you put in there is what we see, what will be seen. So it's not everything you ingest and believe completely. Always make sure you're able to filter. Always make sure you're able to look at it and be like, yeah, it's social media, but I will make my life what I want my life to be, not what social media says. Okay? Keep that in mind at every given point. Have you guys learned something today? Okay, now we still have amazing speakers waiting for you to give you more knowledge, more insights, and more growth hacks. All right, now we'll be moving on to our next speaker of the day. Who's ready? We're not ready. Who is ready? If you're ready, can I hear you say something? Okay, okay. I need to hear it again. How do we do it? I should hand like this. How do I do it? Tell me, come on. Like this. Okay, like this. Okay. If you're ready, can I hear you say suck my purr? Okay. I like the energy. I like this what you guys have taught me today. I'm sure that after you guys have taught me suck my purr now, throughout this week, I will just be suck my purring. Is that it? Purr. Okay, everybody should be ready for me this week because it's only suck my purr I'll be saying. All right, are we ready now? Now, this next speaker I'm calling up is the co-founder of a real estate investment company that is offering a piece of paradise to Nigerians across Nigeria. Now, I'm telling you this so that you know the level of person that's coming to speak to you. This person might decide to give you a piece of paradise, depending on how much you clap and how loud you scream. A round of applause, my people, for the co-founder. Okay, give it a break. You don't want people hear the person. A round of applause for the co-founder of Dukia Investments, Mr. Lukman Shobowale. I would hand you my mic, but it's not working.
It's all right. I'll manage.
You can hold on to it in case it starts working.
All right. Thank you, Olichi. I'm a fan, by the way. Yeah. Good morning. Good afternoon. I'm saying good morning because I came in the morning, but I was told that you guys have not arrived. So I have to just come back. 1 second. Okay, my slide is on the screen, right? All right. Is the mic working now? But I think the mic is echoing my voice back to me. Except you need it for the record of the recording, for the purpose of recording. Okay. All right. It's so good to see all of you here. Thank you. While Boboye was speaking, I was just discussing with my friend that we came together that it looks as though he had peeped into my slide, right? And he's practically discussing most of the things that I have in mind to share with all of you. Trust me, I was just telling him that it's like this guy is reading my slide verbatim. And because the person who came with me used to be the former head of partnership at Joberman on MasterCard Foundation Young Africa Works Project. Currently is a country representative for Peterson and Partners Nigeria Limited. So I'm here with my friend David Mbelu. You guys said OMG. I like the vibe. I like the vibe. All right, so I'm going to be speaking to you about thriving through work, beyond thriving through life beyond school and education, right? And I want to make it a little bit more practical because I understand. I was just telling David that how do I speak to younger people at this level in a way that they can resonate with someone that I'm talking about, so that I don't begin to sound too academic, too deep. But I believe that a lot of us who are here are cerebral. You guys are scholars. So, but when I'm going a little bit beyond the scope, I want you to draw me back. So, let me just quickly start by saying that I like two people to just, if you are sure, right, that you're confident and you can quickly do this, I'd like you to come and take the mic. Tell me a little bit about you and where you see yourself in the next 5 years. Okay? That's beautiful lady behind. Let me take somebody here. So no. This group now. This group. Somebody. Nobody on the. Anyone? Okay. All right. Both of you come. Please give them a round of applause. 1 minute. Introduce yourself to us and where you see yourself in the next 5 years.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Mary, and the name of my school is Top Goodness College. And
1 minute, you have 10 seconds left.
5 years coming, I'll be a lawyer.
You want to be a lawyer?
Yes.
So in the next 5 years, you want to be a lawyer?
Yes.
Can you be a lawyer? What class are you now?
SS3.
Okay. All right, let's give her a round of applause.
So my name is Oyebanjo Oluwatomisi, and I'm in Joe France Murray School and I'm in SS3. Next 5 years, I'll actually like to be a barrister. I would like people to call me Barrister Oluwatomisi, and I'll also like to be a content creator.
Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you. All right. So, both of them want to be lawyers in the next 5 years. To start, with my story. While I was growing up, I lost my parents when, before I was too old to recognize that they were my parents. And, thank you. It's not your fault. And, after a while, the first place I was introduced to as far as education is concerned was nursery school. And I couldn't further because, I lost my sponsors. And the people who call my family decided that they were going to place 4 of us, the children that my parents left behind, in different stratas of life. So we're 4 boys. So our eldest born, who is my eldest brother, they put him in a place to be learning how to make terrazzo. It's a kind of floor. Before tiles came into being, there is what they call terrazzo floor. A lot of, good. I'm glad you guys have an idea. Then the second born, the guy I came after, then they kept him in a place to be learning how to make furnitures, wooden furnitures, right? And they look at me. They look at my own destiny, dichotomize it, and they said, this one, let's put him to be a butcher. Yeah, so, what has Jesus done for you guys? Let's listen to this story in peace. I don't involve Jesus yet. So, they kept me in a place to be learning how to, cut meat and sell meat. And the last born, which is the guy that came after me, they put that one in a place to be learning how to make generator. Yeah. So that was how they divided us. And along the line, I would take the bicycle to deliver meat to the different, food sellers in a place they call Alaja in Ayobo Ekpaja. And I'll see students on shorts and pinafore like you guys, and I'll love it. And I'll be like, oh, I also want to live this kind of life. So every day, while I was going, about delivering on the mandate that I've been assigned, which is to be an apprentice under that boss, Baba Eleron, Baba Lausa. On the road, I was also getting daily inspiration on the life that I can also live, even though it was far from me. And I drew inspiration from the streets, but I was also diligent in delivering my meat, ensuring that those people pay what they were meant to pay. And one of the days, after all the culmination of the experiences and the exposure and the inspiration I've gotten from the street, I decided that I can't continue this life any longer. So when Baba Eleron went to Abattoir, usually I would go to the store and wash the table where we are to make the meat, right? Clean it, get all the nylons together, arrange all the knives and the machetes, so that when it comes, they place the meat on the whatever, and then we start cutting and I start distributing. But you know one thing? I discovered that in my entire family, there is one elderly man who used to visit us, even as a child. And anytime he comes around to our house, he will give us new notes. So we started calling him Alaji Agoron. He was my grandfather. And I know then that he lives about 42 kilometers away from where we were staying. So that day, I took my polythene bag. But before then, when our parent died, myself and my younger brother, the eldest one, don't forget, they were doing terrazzo and what? Furniture, good. So myself and my younger brother were in a place that my father had rented way before he died. So we had the land, but there was no means to, develop it. So we were staying in a place that was made with wood. So we would stay in the wooden place. When it rains at night, we will stand till morning because water will be flooded within the entire premise. And it was so bad that place was our habitat. So beyond the fact that we're staying there, it was a place for accommodation. When we had to cook, don't forget I'm now selling meat, right? So I'll go and pack, even though we were selling meat, I could not afford to buy normal meat. So I'll pack the egungun bogo, what they call biscuit bone. And then we'll put it in the bowl and then boil it. Some of us are very sush. But if you understand that science, when you boil bone in a plate for long, it produces a natural juice that has some kind of Maggi and the likes. So that will be the Maggi, and then it will also be the protein. Then we put in our bathroom there, where it was a place made with wood. We'll go to the back where we used to shower, myself and my younger brother. It was just a place we covered with pan. This pan, normal pan that they use for building, for roof. And then there's a natural fruit that grows there, vegetable. They call it amunututu. Right? We'll pluck the amunututu, put it in the water from the biscuit bone, and then add a little atagungun spice. And then we had what they call gari lebu. You don't get what I'm saying? Gari lebu is when you take, cassava. There's this cocoa extract from cassava, and then you blend it, and then it becomes extremely soft. Softer than normal gari. And then we make, eba from it. And sometimes because we were operating from a posture of lack, we didn't have so much. So the eba is not so strong. So they call it feshelu. Yoruba people call it feshelu. So we dig the eba inside the stew. Don't forget, the stew is now so watery, right? And then the stew meet us at our elbow. And that's what they call pade mini gumpa. So it is on that backdrop. We eat it and then, we are okay. And guess what? Because of the nature of what we are eating, we can't call it balanced diet. So we had to go to the restroom. But the restroom, all that we had, don't forget, is that piece of land that our father leased and gave to us. And we had a wooden house on it. So that piece of property was also, the restroom. And I'm sure some of us are confused because we just need to dig the floor. And then you go there and use it. And sometimes, because myself and my younger brother, maybe because we compete for that little space, sometimes he has used it a day before, and you are now opening up the place. Oh, something is there. You cover it again and go to the next one. Yes, I want to paint this picture deliberately in your minds, because I want you to understand that I came against that backdrop. right? And even though there was no primary 1, primary 2, primary 3, primary 4, primary 5, and I was an orphan, right? God still helped myself and my brother to build something out of our lives. Because we did not settle for that environment. We taught ourselves how to read and how to write. So because of the purpose of my session today, let me quickly say one thing. To be honest, school teaches you how to pass exam. But what about life? You know, many of us go to school, and one thing that school will teach us is how to pass exam. But I want you to know that making smart decisions, building strong relationship, discovering who you are, and creating the future that you want might not necessarily be something that will be taught within the four walls of the school. And so, it doesn't necessarily matter whether you are from a wealthy family or you are sent to school to aspire to become this and that. Many of the things that you will become in life depends on your approach to life. Because life will never give you what you deserve, but what you demand out of it. And there are some things I cannot share because of our ability to process it. But if I look against that backdrop to the thing that I have done with my life, hey, truly, you can become whatever it is that you want to become. Now, let me quickly say this. What I said now is what today is all about. We are here talking about thriving. I don't want to talk to you about surviving, because that is what school does to people. Through high school, thriving through high school and beyond high school. Whether you are 10 or you are 16, your life is not on pause. It's happening now. And with the right mindset, skills, and strategy, you can build a life that you can be proud of. Now, how do you discover your identity very early? Because one of the greatest decisions that I made in that down moment was that I ran away from my grandfather, from where I was selling meat, to my grandfather's place that I want to go to school. And guess what? When I got to my grandfather's place, that, okay, grandpa, now I'm going to go to school. He has a block industry. So when I got to the place, he wasn't at home. He was doing Salah period, where Muslims were doing their anniversary. So he had gone to his house in Ipaja, and I went to Ayobo. It was about maybe 50 kilometers apart. But I slept there. I said I wasn't leaving until the guy comes. And they said, we don't even know you. I said, anyway, the guy who owns this block industry is my grandfather. Imagine telling neighbors and tenants that your grandfather they are not seeing in a while, you only know the address. And they said, well, Baba is not here, but if you are willing to wait. But I made up my mind, so I slept there. That night, I took just one polythene bag. I took one slippers and one jalamia. And that was how I flee. So I slept there for 3 nights. And on the 3rd night, the guy finally came. And they said somebody is looking for it. One of your sons, look who he said is looking for you, you know. And then the guy looked at me and said, yes, who are you? Then I introduced myself, the son of so and so. And I was like, oh, really? I said, so why are you here? I said, I'm not going back to where they kept me to be selling it, except you are willing to help me. So the man took me to his house in Ipaja and kept me at home. And he kept me there that, okay, they were going to put me in school. Don't forget that was why I ran, because I saw people going to school. That was my inspiration. Only for his wife, who is not my grandmother, because my grandmother was late, but, you know, he has another wife, to say that, well, since this boy wants to go to school, we won't just put him in school. Anybody can come to us that they want to be in school. So they took me, and then she took me to her workplace. Surprisingly, that happens to be Iyanopaja Market. It's a big market in Lagos. And that woman was the head of people selling onions in the whole market. She was a big person. And so, from selling meat, now I'm coordinating the affairs of onion sellers in the entire market. That's progress. At least I have better accommodation, right? Yeah. So then I started noting everybody owing her. Then I was still a good salesperson. There is no way you can owe Mama Alaja that Lukman will not put your name on the list. So they started calling me chairman in the estate. This young boy, don't play with him. he has a sharp memory and he understands everything. So the woman saw how I helped her business progress, and she mandated it to my grandfather, who is her husband, that this boy must really be put in school. There's something he can do with his life. All of this story, I'll tell you the lesson eventually, but I'll put it in between some of the things that I'm sharing, right? So the first thing I want to say is that you can never discover yourself early if you cannot understand how to self-reflect. See, beyond waking up in the morning, your parent telling you to go and brush your teeth, some of you, they still give you money. So, see, at this early age, you are in a mirage. It's like an illusionary world. You don't really understand what life is about. And many of us here, we sit here because when you get home now, there is food waiting for some of us. Some of you here, you are not responsible for how, in fact, your fees in school. Some of you, it's even a bus that will take you home. You are not necessarily in charge of your life. Somebody plays the remote, they pause it, they do it for you. But guess what? If you begin to compare yourself with your mates in Korea, there was one of my friends who went to University of, one of the small schools in Nigeria. It was a federal university, right? Obafemi Awolowo University. That's where boy finished from Abi. But David, how you finished? Oh, you went to Covenant. Okay. So he went to Obafemi Awolowo University, right? And it was the best as far as coding is concerned in Ife. They had a competition in Nigeria. He came out on top. And then he went to Korea for the regional competition. Only to discover that he was about 18, 19. And they were having a coding competition in Korea. So that he's competing with, they were 10 and 11. Yeah. So he was competing with his younger brothers, people that would naturally knock their head at home. And he came last. He was the best from Nigeria, Africa, but he was the last in that region. Why? Well, he was even better than some of us, I'm sure, because he still came first. That means he's the best from this place. Is that those ones at an elementary stage, what they do, they design phone for fun. Some of them, you see all these phones that they can design the phone they will use for themselves because they have developed themselves to be skill-based and not just knowledge-based. Because many things that we do from out of here is that we have a lot of knowledge. But knowledge is not power. It is applied knowledge. So you must self-reflect. Ask yourself, what do I enjoy doing? What are my natural strengths? What kind of problem do I love solving? Knowing yourself early gives you a head start in making intentional life decisions beyond what your parent told you. There are many ways when we're growing up. Some of us, I know somebody said one of the ways you discover who you are. Somebody said revelation, which is God. Then somebody said Google. Right? Because God gives you revelation. Google gives you information. But sometimes we also allow other people, strangers, to probably tell us that, the way I'm looking at this boy, you're going to be a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? And you know that you're not necessarily cut out for law. Like when I was younger, they actually told me that I should study law. Because, oh my God, I am so stubborn. I can argue that white is black. And if you're not careful, you start believing that it's actually black. But that was not what I was cut out for. But many people are choosing to go into law because of what people consistently told them. Or because their father told them that I'm a lawyer and you must inherit this law firm. So it's a family thing. As against following their inmates, passion. Maybe they love to communicate, they love to talk. Maybe you're going to be someone like Miss Oluchi, And then you now want to become maybe a doctor. And then at the sight of blood, you vomit. Right? So you must reflect within yourself. Number 2, you must think beyond academic metrics. See, your identity is not based on your WAEC result or your JAMB result. The first JAMB I did, surprisingly, I had 301. My first JAMB. Guys, I used to be very smart, book smart. And then I did the Pursuit TME in one school. I don't want to mention them. I don't want to give them, since you guys are young, there's no need. I'm not with my mates. I did my post-UTME in OAU. And they offered me one course. You know, imagine scoring 301. And then you did post-UTME, maybe you didn't do so well. So they are saying, I'm offering you another course. So I thought I wasn't going to take it. Then eventually I went to University of London, the best university in Nigeria, to take the same course. Okay? All right. So, you must think beyond metrics, academic metrics. Then practical exploration. You must explore your interest through volunteering, like what Boboye said. See, one of the ways to discover yourself is, look for a way you can serve, because one of the ways to the top is down. The way up is down. When I was coming through this place now, I came through the staircase. But the staircase starts from down, and it brought me up, right? So you must look for a way to serve, to dispense your skill, because while you are doing that, you also discover yourself. Then, your hobbies, and through internship, even in school, then you must discover yourself quite early. Another thing I want to talk about is, how do you build a growth mindset? So, grades are important, but they are not everything. A growth mindset means you believe you can learn anything if you are willing to work for it. Now, I told us about when they put me in a place to learn onions, and I did well, and then my grandmother told my grandpa that this boy should go to school, right? And then I went to school. And then I remember that when I got to school, they put me in primary 3. They saw that I was older. I was not fit for that class because I was quite older than anybody in the class. So they put me in primary 4, a place where I can blend more. And then I discovered I was still older than everybody in primary 4. It wasn't that I was actually older. I was suffering from malnutrition. Because that time my head was bigger, everything was just not rhyming. And then my grandfather that I was staying with, when I needed shoe for school, they just tell me, go to one of the beds, check under the bed, there's a shoe there that your brother used. One of my uncle used the shoe in 1970 something. You don't get. So I just went to the place, I saw the shoes, I saw the one that would fit me, and ordinarily standing with that shoe is at a disadvantage because they had worn the shoe consistently, and the shoe had gone through wear and tear. So when I stand like this, the shoe puts me like this. Imagine standing like, guys, you guys cannot even relate. You guys, they change your shoe almost every new session. So the shoe had gone through wear and tear by the side. So I'm standing as if I have leg. So students saw me and they were like, people in primary 2, we come to primary 3. He said, senior, do like this. It was strange to them that somebody of my nature and caliber would dress like this. And we're staying in Abeson housing estate in Ekpaja. Where around gates. Many of us may not know the place, right? But we're staying in block 276, flat 5. The owner of that school was in flat 3. He was the one who stays directly beneath us. We were in flat 5. He was in flat 3. He's a lawyer. So they saw that whatever they were teaching in the class was not something I can relate with. So they put me in primary 4. That I was intimidating people in primary 3. So they put me in primary 4. In primary 4, they saw that I'm still intimidating them. So they put me in primary 5. Not that I was good, though. They were just looking for a best place to put me. So they kept me back. They took me back to primary 4. And then, I remember there was a time they gave us an assignment. I didn't understand anything. So I copied the assignment and I returned it back. And the teacher took me and I ran around within the school. And there was a time I saw something on the board, Chelsea. You know Chelsea Football Club? And I was like, Chelsea. I caught all the words because I didn't understand what it meant. But guess what? Every time I get home, in the middle of the night, even though nobody was guiding me, and sometimes you need to be guided at least to understand. It's like somebody trying to read English, yet you don't understand English. You don't understand. But I will still open the book, and I will burn the candle, reading what I don't understand. That my grandmother will leave the room and come to the sitting room, and probably think that this boy is possessed. But that was the life I was living. It meant that, no. I saw what happened in my family, and I saw that all my siblings may not have a shot at education, but I will be that exceptional person. And then, how we go, my grandfather was very archaic, even though he was wealthy. He will not allow us to use generator. So we use this, there's this lamp. This one that has like a thread inside. Then it has like a glass. Yeah, that one. Then when this thing is stained, you go and clean it, then put it back, then put kerosene. So that was what we're using. So it was difficult for me to read sometimes. So I'll go to the staircase of this barrister who owned my school, and I'll use the lights to read every now and then. And because they usually have a lot of guests, people will see that there is this one boy always using their lamp to read. So people will say that, who is this boy? He's always, you have a house girl in this house who is always on African Magic. There's another lady that lives with them, supporting them. But there's this young boy who always uses the light of this place to read. So I kept on doing that. Then gradually, I was in primary 5, primary 6, and I was promoted. When I was in primary 6, I take 16th position. We were 16 in class. And whenever I take 15th position, then I'll go and tell the guy that took 15 that, see, I'm the first. Because both of us, I can never forget his name, Dayo Osheni. It's either Lukman Shobowale or Dayo Osheni. 16 and 15. That's our sport. You can't fight it. But in primary 6, I took 3rd position. Yes. And I was promoted on trial. Because, it's beyond the result of a session. You accumulate everything together. So they promoted me on trial. And the guy who took 3rd, out of this ghost, that Lukman Shobowale took 3rd, that 3rd was like a family role for him. Because he's always the 3rd position. He just fell sick. He was seriously sick. You would think he wanted to die. He's not my friend. He lives in London. So, but that was just the story. And I was promoted on trial. Then they kept me in a school. They call it Community Junior Grammar School, Maji Yagbe, because my grandparents could no longer afford that private school. And so the man saw that I was still reading with his lamp. And he told me that I should go and write an exam with them in the secondary school. Don't forget, I didn't go to the secondary school because they could not further my education there. So I went to Community Junior Grammar School. In GS2, they saw that I was reading one of these days, and they said I should go and write an exam with them. I wrote the exam with them, and the teacher said, if this guy had written exam only from the cumulative script that we have marked, he would have been the second best student. And the man said, from GS2 to SS, I will be on a scholarship. And so it took that support for me to actually finish secondary school. Now, what am I trying to emphasize here is that you must learn from failure. And many of us, despite the fact that we have these parents who are very protective of us, who always tell us what to do, who always tell you that to prepare for the best in life, to have the best grade, you must learn beyond the four walls of the classroom. Don't compete or compare yourself to others. Master or measure yourself against your past self. Right? The next thing I want to talk about is the power of soft skills and high income skills. The first thing I want to talk about is career success. Your certificate may get you in the door, but soft and high income skills keep you in the room. And most of the time, these are skills that you develop, not necessarily within the school. Number 2 is high income skills like design, copywriting, digital marketing, data analysis, coding, AI, or sales generally. So you must learn some of these things. So not necessarily because our curriculum within the four walls of the schools are primordial, they are outdated. So you must put yourself in a position where you must understand what is working in this time. Let me share a story with us. When I was in the university, right, don't forget, it took scholarship for me to go to, secondary school. I finished, I went to the university. When I got to the university, 100 level, 200 level, 300 level, I was just this book guy. I was a scholar from 100 level, so I was on scholarship 100 level, 200 level. Then in 300 level, the school decided that they were going to send us to, there is this intra-African exchange program. So I was part of the first student that was chosen by my school to go to Kenya. They will bring some people from Kenya, send some of us to Kenya. So it was an exchange. So we're there and, doing all the things we're doing. And then I saw how the students, there were doing their things, and I came back to Nigeria. Guess what? All through my life, trying to be the best student, I had not necessarily discovered my hidden potential until 300 level outside Kenya. And I saw that I love the way these people are doing their student unionism. I saw that around that time, the student union in Kenyatta University, which is one of the best universities in Nigeria, in Kenya, after the University of Nairobi, like I think second best, they went to see Obama. And, the Obama gave them some funds. They built some projects. I'm like, in my own school, what I see about student union is that the student union president will be buying cars with student union money. Or we have girlfriend in every faculty. Or they'll steal money. So I told myself that when I get back to Nigeria, I want to run for student union president. And I'd never become class rep. But guess what? Because I was always taking tutorials. So I discovered that my greatest strength is my ability to gather people together and teach them what I've learned. And through that interaction, people have now come to like me. It was a soft skill, communication, networking, ability to relate and transfer knowledge, right? And guess what? I got there and I said I wanted to contest for people. People started laughing that you want to contest for president. Where are you from? As a matter of fact, you're a Christian. This is a highly dominated Islamic school. There was that even religious sentiment around whether I could become it or not. But nevertheless, I said I was going to do it. And then I contested and I won. And when I won as student union president that year, what I discovered was it wasn't really because of the pride of being a student union per se. It was of the fact that, now I became a student leader and I had to lead over 70,000 students. Then they gave me they gave me a personal student police who will be following me, that kind of a thing, and gave me a student union car. That means they'll be driving me around. But I discovered that wasn't my life. So I abandoned the car. I would take the car and go and use it to carry students. Students will fall maybe have accident on campus. They will see me with the car. Maybe there'll be traffic off campus. People will see me, controlling traffic. That kind of a thing. And then people were like, no, this guy is not like any president we've had. This one is different. And I made more friends in that setting than I've ever made in my life. And I discovered my potential beyond the four walls of the classroom. And guess what? That became the biggest thing that happened to me until that point. Now, what I discovered was that those soft skills, it taught me how to communicate. Because there was a time that they wanted to impeach me as student union president over what I did not do. And I quoted a Muslim hadith. Even though I was a Christian, I quoted hadith. Because many of the senators were Muslims. The people wanted to impeach me. And I told them that this thing that I did, it wasn't deliberate. And there is a prophet that said, in normally have only been niyat. That says, action shall be judged according to intention. People say, And so all the senators said, you know what, truly this guy did not do it. So I learned how to steer through crisis. And there was a time I was fighting for nursing students. And the lecturer came and slapped me. And as the lecturer slapped me, the school was about to burn. There was a campus where students went naked. That they slapped our student union president. They were going to burn down the school. And there is a body they call NANS. Many of you may not know it. It's the National Association of Nigerian Students. They said, no, they are beating. And automatically, every student union president is a senator of that body. That we're going to destroy the school. And I called the vice chancellor. I said, I've forgiven the doctor who slapped me. And I just want the school to go back to order. And that singular act taught me crisis management. And guess what happened? After the school saw how I managed it, the governor of Kwara State made me a peace ambassador. Right? Then I published a book around that expression, around what happened. They paid a lot of money as a student graduating on that book. And the school gave me a contract. I won't mention the price to you guys. But trust me, I was in NYSC camp when they paid the money for that contract. And that's what gave me a jump start from life. Guess what? I'm an orphan. No father, no mother. So all of these things that happened in my life, the communication, the emotional, the teamwork, the problem solving, it started from that point where there is no father, nobody to help me. So I've always understood that I'm alone. But beyond being alone, I've also seen what happened to my father. So I've learned to be kinder to people. I've learned that nobody's coming to help. We need to do this and we need to do it well. I learned that there are ways to communicate. I've learned that my peace is very important. I came from a very turbulent home. Polygamous. My father had a second. So I know that this man had a second wife. So those were the things that school did not teach me. But I taught myself. I subjected myself to those training. and they were quite useful eventually. You must note that your ability to work with people will matter more than your CGPA. Yeah. I've met people from the plane who have become closer to me than some people that we grew up together. Even some of my siblings. Because there are some money, they taught us that don't talk to strangers when we're growing up. But you'll be surprised that many of your greatness lies with strangers. Because you're only as powerful as the people that you can. The reason why you're in this level is because of the people that you know. You don't understand? The reason why you are at this level is because of the people that you know. The reason why you have not changed level is because the people that will help your destiny beyond here, you don't know them yet. Or you don't know what you need to know to engage them. So when they talk to you, they are not necessarily seeing any form of value. And that's why you must learn beyond the classroom. In 2020 or 2019, when people were saying there was COVID, people were not going home. People were not doing business. I was working for a real estate company as head of sales. Guess what? I did 2 billion in sales. In an economy where people think that there's no money. Because people were at home. I could go to, some of them, I could call them. People that would normally not pick my call. I could call them now. If we didn't let key houses, we could still go once in a while. We'll tell the security, some of them that we are, what's this thing? Essential workers. We'll still go to their house, sit down with them, dine with them, talk to the entire family. And guess what? Somebody that I met as student when I was president who fell in the gutter. She fell inside gutter and she had bruises. And I used to stay in her career. Learned that I was doing property and then told the brother to invest with me. And guess what? We traveled to South Africa. The guy decided that he was going to buy some property in South Africa. We don't know the South African market. Myself and my partner had just built a business. We went to SA to rest. And we said, let us explore the South African market. And we started talking to the white people as if we were investors. What do you guys have here? Let's check your property market. They started taking us around, snapping pictures. They will not teach you that one in school. But we engaged them as if we had the funds to buy. And we understood everything they were talking about that property. And we prepared it in a brochure. And we sent it out. And they did a transaction of close to 5 billion. And for the first time in our sales career, we made 500 million. They will not teach you that one in school. So it's good that you understand that everything that you are going through in life, even the ones that you don't understand, I want you to be the best student, guys. I want you to read and understand. Because if you can read and you can understand what you are reading, it's a start point to know that you can be great. But beyond that, you must understand how to communicate. I called 2 people out there to come and tell me about themselves. I know we can approach them. But some of us, we may not remember what they have said. Because when they give you an opportunity to mention your name, say, my name is good. I can't even hear what you're saying. You have to say it slowly and look into everybody's eye. Because you are as powerful as the way you introduce yourself. So you introduce yourself carefully. You talk about your plans carefully. Because see, communication is as important as you can imagine. What you say is not as important as how you say it. So it doesn't matter. You see some people, when they were in school, they were scholars. That's why Robert Kiyosaki, he said that the reason why the A students work for the C students. So it's not about, I finished with first class. I had a 4.999. That's not it. So your ability to work with people matter more than your CGPA. Even as a student, you can start any now. That experience teaches you money management, value creation, and self-worth. When I was in school, don't forget, my parents, they were late. We took the church to pay my acceptance fee. As I am like this, if not for church, I will not collect the admission. Because the church paid the acceptance fee. Guys, you don't get. You know that kind of thing that church paid the acceptance fee, then school fee, you now talk to some of your uncle, they say, well, I have 5K. You talk to another pastor, well, I'll give you 25. The money was 67,500. Then I gathered 67K. It was one lady from my church that I used her card. Then I added the 500. She's now in Estonia. I'm forever grateful to her. Omalade, she was the one that gave me 500 to pay the final acceptance fee. Otherwise, maybe I would not have gone to school. What am I saying here? What I'm saying is that you must think of life beyond. When I was in 100 level, I had a roommate. My accommodation was about 15,000 in Tanke, in Kwara. I had a roommate who knows how to make liquid soap. I always believe that I don't really have much talent in life. I always tell people that the only talent I think I have is my mouth. That I can set fire to hell. And I can set ice to Eskimo. And I can set water to the well. Get. So I believe that if my mouth, if I have the ability to speak, I will do fine. So that guy could make liquid soap. So I told him that let's partner. Then I started taking bottles around and I'll package the liquid soap, then I'll take it to school. I started speaking with restaurant on campus. I offer liquid soap. So fresh, right? So fresh, so clean. That was our logo. Right? And we started selling the soap around. Guess what? In 200 level, I'll be going to campus. There is a kind of bus they call Korokwe. Some of you may not know. They're these tiny, tiny buses. I'll be going in yellow bus, yellow cab in Kwara. All those yellow cab. And then 2 Korokwe's will be following me. You don't understand? And guess what? I'm not the one who makes the soap. I'm not, but I'm the CEO. He's the CEO. You don't understand? And I have a card, and then we'll sell. Then, in 300 level, I was staying in a mission hostel. I discovered that people need water, but they need to trek about 2 kilometers to get that water. And then I started ordering for pure water in mass quantity and started selling to people within the hostel. Even when I'm not around, people will buy. And at some point, I started selling books. John Maxwell's book. Or sometimes, I'll first read the book, then I'll give it. But then I discovered that when I wanted to run for president, and there was time, and in my school, it's not really about what determines if you win or not. It's the debate night. And usually the debate happens a night before the election. And they asked us 3 questions. And I'm talking about the role of communication and improving your mind, studying. See, what helps you is not schooling. What helps you is education. Education is different from schooling. So you must expose your mind to be educated. You must feed your mind with the right information. And you must stay up to date. You must stay informed. So they asked us a question. And the question is, all the presidential aspirants, somebody just said, I have 3 questions for you. Are you honest? Have you ever told a lie? How bad of a liar are you? You have a debate with about 5,000 students in the hall. And then somebody, at the end of the debate, all of you have performed well. Somebody then came and said, I have just 3 questions for all the aspirants. Number 1, are you honest? Number 2, have you ever told a lie? Number 3, how bad of a liar are you? Let me ask somebody here. How will you answer that question? Answer man, come. Are you not the answer one? Come. Okay, answer one, come. If you are the answer one, come. Now, this is what I'm saying. Let me tell you something. I told you that life will not give you what you deserve, but whenever somebody calls you to come, just come. Be bold. Come. Let's laugh for him. Thank you. Look into the eyes. Stop doing like this. Are you honest?
Yes.
Have you ever told a lie?
Yes.
So how bad of a liar are you? What's your name?
John.
Let's start for John. Well, John told us that he's honest, and he told us that he has told a lie before. Right? So you might be looking at it that, how can somebody who have told lies, maybe even lies, and now still saying that he's honest? Let's clap. Oh, let's clap for, let's stand up. Please, come. What's your name? Treasure. Please, let's clap for Treasure. Adria, do you see what she said? She said something very powerful. Treasure, do you have a laptop? So I'll buy a laptop for Treasure. Now, do you know what just happened now? Now, they asked me that, because look at what he said, and look at how Treasure twisted it. That took somebody who thinks at another dimension. He said at least he was honest to say that he's a liar. You know, so they asked me, are you honest? Have you ever told a lie? So everybody said, well, I'm honest. Well, I've told a lie before. I'm a white liar. I'm a bad liar. I'm a good liar. Then it was my turn. I said, well, I said, let me start from the second question. Have I ever told a lie? Yes, I have. Am I honest? Yes, I am. Because it takes honesty to admit that you have told a lie. And guess what? The student did not care to hear the last one. Everybody started saying, I'm voting the guy who is a liar but yet honest. And that was how I won. Funny. It was just ability to communicate truth in a particular way. So it's not that life does not want to give you. See, you'll be surprised that you can get a better outcome on how you frame a single mail. And that's what sales is all about. So, Adria, please follow up. Please, let's get her a laptop. So, financial intelligence is a life skill. We must understand that financial intelligence is a life skill. See, I know that many of us, we are young. And we are going to school. You see, what changes people's life? Many people that we went to school together, you see, in class, all of us are the same, but we are not grace mates. You don't get. You see some people outside class, they will be this, some people will be that. What differentiates them is how they use what they know to advance their career in life. And most time, you can judge it by their financial positioning. So, learn the basics. School won't teach you this, but you must learn it. You must learn to save. You must learn to invest. You must learn to budget, even on a small allowance. Some of us here, all the money that we get, we probably just spend it, and that's all. You don't have a budget. You don't understand anything about finance. The only thing you are reading now, many of you are maybe you are reading CRS, how Jesus turned water to wine, or you are studying biology. Well, it's fine. Or you are studying, guys, do you know what I studied in school? When I was in school, I always thought I would be a diplomat, because we did history and international relations. Then I went to Kenya, I did political science, and now, guess what? I'm now doing something entirely different from what I studied. I've gone to 2 other universities, business schools across the world, to study business and finance. So, but it's important that you understand your current posture, that these are things that you must educate yourself all round about God, about finance, about life, about destiny, about character. Like what Boboye was saying, it takes a combination of all of those things to make you a all-round greatness, not just getting schooled. There are people who get educated, I interview them. From interviewing them, I can't even employ them. Everybody who comes to work in my organization, after the HR has told us that they're going to employ them, they get to meet myself and my partner. And most of the time, we just ask them one petty question. So can we meet you? As simple as that. And from the way they meet us, we can just tell the HR that, no, this one is not going to work in this organization. As simple as that. So you must educate yourself, because sometimes, see, somebody said reading is living. The moment you stop reading, you start decaying. So you must understand that there are some things that school will not teach. Read books. Well, I said like The Richest Man in Babylon or Psychology of Money. Don't wait to make it before learning how to manage money, right? Start small. Start small. Track how you spend for 30 days. You'll be shocked at how money disappears. Build social capital early. Another thing I'll talk about, building social capital. I spoke about the fact that it is the people that you know, right, that determine the places that you're able to access. See, nobody gets to the top. Listen, guys, are we listening, guys? Are we listening? Are we all together? Are we all together? Yes. Guys, are we all together? Yes. Do you need water? These 2 people. Do you want to tell us? Come, both of you come. Let's clap for them. I want you to share. Come, both of you. Let's clap for them. Come. I want you to share what you are discussing. I think it's very interesting. Come. I like that. Okay. I want both of you to quickly tell us, what were you discussing? What have you learned so far?
I learned that it's good to save, and that is not everything that school will teach you about. There are some things you learn about life that you just need to use your IQ.
I like that. This is your own thing. Thank you. Let's clap for you. You? Go ahead.
Rocky Bat.
Rocky Bat. Go ahead. Don't forget what we said about communication. So just communicate. Don't worry. Just imagine everybody here. Just see them as ants. Okay, let's start for her. I'll call you later. Let's start for her. So, how do you build social capital, right? Number 1 is mentors. See, connect with experienced guides who can provide wisdom and direction. Some of us, well, I mean, because I'm talking to a lot of young people, I wanted to say I'm sure many of you don't have experts yet like that. You don't have people in your life, maybe a doctor or the like. So, but you need a mentor. No matter how young you are. It could be your class teacher. It can be your parents. It could be somebody entirely different. Somebody who lives a life that you aspire to be. And sometimes your mentors do not necessarily have to be people who are successful. The challenge we have these days is that a lot of young people want to choose mentors who are big online. They want to choose mentors who are driving, Maybach. Mentors who are driving S-Class. Mentors who are driving Range Rover, G-Wagon. Right? But guess what? That's not the goal. The goal of mentorship is not to pick somebody who is succeeding financially per se, but somebody who has a principle that you want to exemplify. Somebody who has gotten there the right way. It might even be a poor person that is teaching you about life. Yes. Because some people, they can be great, but their mentors are in the village. It's not about age. It's not also about what they have. Because see, the wisdom of Solomon has nothing to do with the age of Methuselah. Guys, do you get what I'm saying? So you must choose mentors, and you must choose them carefully. Number 2, growth partners with people who are better than you. I remember when I was in secondary school, I always befriend people who are way smarter than me. If I'm smarter than you, it's a sign that I should not be your friend. Even now, many of my core friends, they are older than me. Older. See, David is older than me. I'm sure maybe 10 years older. Core friends, older than me. People who will take me to rooms that I cannot enter. Because nobody gets to the top. People are usually brought to the top. Yes. Nobody gets to the top. They are brought. You don't just get to the top. They bring you to the top. You don't just get to the room. They bring you inside the room. So you must be friends with, if you are an A student or a B student, mingle with an A student. If you are a C student, mingle with a B student. Stop mingling with people like you. You don't get, they're not going to help you. You're not going to help yourselves. Because 2 blind men cannot lead themselves anywhere. Challenging friends. Work with friends who challenge you, not just diss with you. Don't work with those who will just be dissing with you. Somebody say, "Wait, I read a book on finance. Have you read that book? I think you should read it." Well, I'm going for a program in Harvard where the money is not complete. I'm looking for some other scholarships. And then those who are building, I'm building a product now. I think these are the ways I should go about it. People who are constantly challenging you. You will never be comfortable. People are saying, well, I'm doing 7 days fasting. The next one I'm going to do 14 days. They even challenge you spiritually. Nobody say, you know what, guys, let's go on. Let's chop life. Every time it's chop life. There's a time to chop life. Guess what I'm saying? But if you chop life all the days of your life, you don't become something meaningful. So you must put your hands to work. Then provide value. Like Koboboye said. My network was built through consistency, service, and value. I did not always know big people, but I showed up and gave value where I could. You must see, let me tell you something about value. It doesn't matter who you are. Once you provide value, people will give you money. Value is what you give. Money is what you get. I have a friend who knows one person, a senator. Let's senator online. The guy makes some videos. But the video is not, it's below par. It's low budget video. And it's like, this senator is, ditching out this kind of videos. Let me enter into his DM. He entered into his DM and said, "Sir, I would like to do this video for you in so ways for free." And the guy said he should come to his, and he did the video for him. I'm like, wow, really? And that was how the guy gave me a contract to do video for him for an entire year. I can't mention the price for you. He was doing that video for others for free. But he has mastered it. And then he saw somebody who needed it and he provided it. And that was how he made it in life. So you must understand that creating value will always put you on top. Then also, another thing I'll talk about, our generation, you must use social media, but as a tool, not a toy. If I ask all of us now, somebody asked, I think, Oluchi asked us the other time, that how many of you guys are on TikTok? How many of you guys? Be honest. Guys, no, we listen, we don't judge. How many of you? Good. 1. You are also on TikTok. 3. Okay. About 5 or 4. Thank you. You guys did not raise your hand there. 5. Okay. 6. They are 7. Hey, Oluchi, can you see them? A lot of them are on TikTok. They were hiding. Good. Now, guess what? And trust me, guys, I love it. It's amazing. I'm actually learning to use TikTok. Honestly. But I'm on Instagram. I'm on a lot of social media platforms. So, your Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, they are not just for fun. You must use them to display your talent abilities for potential employees. Right? So, you must understand. Because of time, let me just quickly run through. Make strategic connection. But you know what I say about social media, right? Use it to your own advantage. Not at your own detriment. Connect to people in your field who you can provide opportunities and mentorship for. Look at people that are doing what you're trying to do. Even at this young age, you can follow them and learn from them. Then share your learning journey. You must document what you are learning and how you are growing. This creates a portfolio of your development over time. Guys, share your learning journey. Some of you can start journaling. Whatever it is you're learning, you have a book. This way you write everything. You are not too young to excel because your mate in Korea, your mate in China. See, I was in a store the other day. Myself and my partner went to China, right? And then we went to a particular store and we saw this guy who makes, needle that they normally use to make sew clothes. And we're like, who buys this needle? And the guy said, funny enough, that he actually distributes to the rest of the world. And that he gross a minimum of $200,000 every month. Yeah? On selling needles. $200K. That's a lot. Some businesses selling cars in Nigeria are not even doing as much as that every month. That's because he understood the place of what he's doing, even though he was a young person. So avoid comparison trap. Don't compare yourself with others. Embrace responsibility and not excuses. One thing you must do, you must show up early, right? Show up early. Demonstrate reliability and commit to punctuality. If they tell you that come for a program, you look at it, don't get there late. Get there on time. Because if you get there early, it gives you time to plan and do all of those things, right? So you must show up early for community. You must volunteer for leadership. Anytime you are in a place, show up. They say, who will be the class rep? Raise your hand. Don't forget, provided you have done all the other things that we mentioned, who is going to do the show and see? Because see, in life generally, any opportunity you did not show up for, you can never get it. There is zero chance that you get it. But there are some opportunities you may think you are not qualified for. But first show up for it. Because many people may be thinking that they cannot qualify for it. And then that makes you the only person who is available. Yeah. Okay? Imagine I did not take, because when I was contesting for student union president, somebody said, David, you're not going to win. I said, okay, no problem. Let me not win. But if I did not win, I would have still won. The guy said what? I said, well, it's deeper than what you are thinking. Because I would have defeated the fear of not contesting. Because this is not competition about winning or not winning. It's competing with myself. Nobody in my family are contested for that role. So if I contested, I have won in itself. Right? So volunteer for leadership. Be known as someone who delivers. Adopt a growth mentality. Then, finally, on the last slide, one thing I want to know is the mental health, balance, and future planning. As young people, I don't know if we have a lot of it, but we've seen a lot of change. We must protect our mental health. See, success means nothing if your mind is broken. Everything I'm saying does not really matter if you have a broken mind. So don't allow one year boy to come and be lying to you that you are the sugar in his coffee. At this age, you don't need it. And then he breaks the cup where the coffee is. And then you are shattered. And because of that, you're like, life is not worth it. Or you are thinking that, well, maybe I should even leave. So you must protect your peace. Talk to someone when things get heavy. Make sure talk to a parent. Talk to your teachers. Talk to a mentor. Avoid pressure to blow overnight. Many young people these days want to be successful overnight. But success is a product over time and not overnight. There is nothing like overnight success. Anybody who wants to success overnight, you see, that's people that play betting. All these betting people drop 10,000. I was talking to somebody recently. You will never win it. Because you lose 10,000. You want to use 20,000 to make that 10,000. You lose it again. You want to make 40,000. That you will never make it. The betting industry is about 3 billion. As far as Nigeria is concerned. In the US, it's 13 billion. So I was reading a report yesterday. So a lot of people put money there. Even people who don't talk about it. But guess what? They can never be successful through it. Go and check. Only few success stories of betting. Even those people who have won it, they end up losing it. So don't be caught in that trap, right? Slow success builds character. Fast success builds ego. Plan for the future. You don't have to figure out everything, but you must start thinking, where do I want to be in 5 years? What am I doing today that will help me get there? Then, lastly, you must take action now. Whatever I've said will not mean anything because in the end, thriving isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. Every smart move you make now adds up. Read that book. Learn that skill. Send that DM. Wake up early. Take yourself seriously. And I want you to know that nobody owes you anything in life. But you can build it. If you refuse to create your own table, you will keep begging to sit at somebody else's table. So to everybody who is listening to me here, rather than begging to be on somebody's table, why not just create your own table? Thank you.
Did we learn something today? I don't think we did, though. Did we learn something today? I just want to ask one person from each school. What did you learn today? Plan the future. In one line, though. Just tell me in one line. Plan the future? Okay. What did you learn today? One line.
Value is what gives you money, and money is what you get.
All right. A round of applause for yourselves. Okay, let me just one more person. Just you. Just you. What did you learn?
According to what he said communication is key, and we should be bold enough at any point.
Okay, be bold enough at any point. Another round of applause for yourselves. Another round of applause for yourselves. Come on. Okay, before we move on, Mr. Lainka, are we ready for that? Do you want to take the picture now? Okay, before we move on, we want to project one of Mr. Lukman's books on the screen where we will take pictures right in front of that, and then we will move on to our next speaker. I feel like we have gotten so much insight today already. Are we tired? Are we tired? Don't worry, there's food. There's food. If there's anything you hold to your chest, there's food. Are you ready for food? So here's what's going to happen. We will have one more speaker. And right after our next speaker, we will eat. We'll take a break and we'll get something to eat. And then we will move to our panel session. Do we want to learn more today? Are we sure? Where are we going, Joe France? Oh, they don't want people to eat food. If you go like this, the food is gone. I will take your food. I will take two plates. Okay, thank you very much, students from Joe France. Thank you very much. A round of applause for your colleagues from the other school. Okay. Are we ready to take the picture now? Okay, 1 second, and then we will take the pictures. Okay, so the students from Top Goodman get all the goodies. I like that part for you guys. I like that. A round of applause for yourselves. Are we tired of learning? We want to be done with learning? Okay, let me now find out from other people. What did we learn? What did you learn from the last session we just had?
I learned that we use social media is not to use it to play, use it to learn something.
Not to use it to play, use it to learn something. Okay, I have one question though. I have one question for you guys. I wrote it down. So what is that one thing that would always put you on top anywhere? What is that one thing that would always put you on top anywhere? That one thing.
Excuse.
Is that what he said? Is that what he said? That's not exactly what. What's that one thing?
Determination.
That's the right. That's good. That's good. But I'm looking for what he said. Are we ready for the picture?
Communication.
That's good still, but I'm coming back. It's not exactly what he said. Anybody else want to try? Huh? Self-discipline? That's good still, but not exactly what he said.
Self-discovery.
Self-discovery is good, but not exactly what he said. The one thing that would put you on top any day, anytime, anywhere is what? Boldness? That's good still, but not what he said. Value. Creating value wherever you are. Make yourself valuable, whether you're in the corporate space, in the social space, in any space you find yourself. Creating value is that one thing that will put you on top. A round of applause for yourselves again, because all your suggestions were amazing. Amazing. All right, picture time.
So yeah, this is a book I'll be launching soon. The editor is still working on it. That is why, we don't have it printed yet. Yeah, so I just want us to take picture with it. So yeah. All right, so maybe just like, yes, exactly. Yeah. Media, are you ready for us? Please direct us. All right, all students, can you try to come and join, even though this place is very small? Yeah, please come. Hello, please come, 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 come. Hello, sir. Mr. James. Please, sir. Yeah, no, are you done? All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to all our speakers so far. We are drawing near to the end of today's session. But right now, we have a very beautiful, very amazing speaker coming up next. And are we listening, guys? No? Adura. It's all right. For him? For Mr. Lukman? Mr. Lukman. Mr. Lukman. Mr. Lukman. Somebody seems to have a question for you. What's your question for Mr. Lukman? Okay, you don't want to use the mic? What do you want? She doesn't want to go with the mic. She's shy. They said you guys should have boldness, and you are not picking on your boldness right now. Come on.
The question is, you said about mentor.
to meet prominent individuals at MIT. He had an opportunity to deliver a TEDx Teen Talk to Harvard University students, Harvard University engineering students as a teenager. Hello, are you all following? Did you get the story? Okay. So why did I tell you about Kelvin? I told you about Kelvin because you are at a stage in life Okay. If you guys are following, please just say hello. Everyone. All right. So yeah, I'm Sophia Emifoniye, and I'm the co-founder of Skill Body Technologies, which is an adaptive skill lab that is helping to prepare African available emerging technologies. In the information age, which was where your parents likely grew up in, they were introduced to the computer, right? But then it was still a luxury, not a necessity. But in this age, you now have access to your own devices and artificial intelligence and so many technologies. So these are emerging technologies: artificial intelligence, quantum computing, cyber technology, blockchain technology, the metaverse, digital talent platforms, and automation. Some of the ways that you can apply these are in pretty much any field. And even in education, as a student, you can use artificial intelligence to improve the way you learn and the way you develop, okay? Because of the timing, what I'm going to do is ensure that the slides will be, I'm going to ensure that the slides will be available to you offline. Now, the reason why I'm introducing you to emerging technologies is so that you can use them to make impact. Over time, during the evolution of man, with each evolution, work was done better, faster, right? And things were made to become more available to larger groups of people. I'm showing you emerging technologies because I want you to do the same thing. At the time that Kelvin was 15, he made use of scrap, right? But now you have AI. Now you have some of these emerging technologies readily available, like digital talent platforms. I'm going to go into that briefly. So where does that leave you? How can you make impact? How can you thrive by making impact using digital technologies? It's by thinking about where you can find opportunities. Today, nearly half of the world's youth will, it has been predicted that by 2030, nearly half of the world's youthful population will be in Africa. And that's you. It means that you are going to be the fixers, you're going to be the creators, you're going to be the dreamers. And all of the world is watching Africa now because of this population. That means that wherever you find a gap, wherever you find a struggle, you then have an opportunity to make impact. So I want you to think about where you have gaps right now as a student, where you can find gaps in your community, where you can find gaps at home, where you can find struggles. Because when you solve for a struggle, then you create value. The previous speaker talked about value creation, right? You don't chase success, you chase value. And when you give value, success then chases you. You create value when you find a gap, an opportunity. And that's what I want you to understand today. That's one of the most important things I want you to leave this place with. So what can you do? You start with what you have. Some of the speakers have already mentioned some of these, so I'm just going to breeze through it. The first step is to build digital skills. This is no longer the agricultural age, yeah? This is the digital revolution. So you must have a digital skill. You're not too young to build a digital skill. You don't have to wait till you get to the university before you learn how to use some of these tools. Okay, and one of the places you can learn digital skills is YouTube. You have free access to resources. You can also learn on SkillBuddy Technologies on our platform. You can grow your skill knowledge. Also, you have to think outside the box. For you to innovate means that you find out how things are being done now and think about how they can be done better and how they can reach more people, thousands of lives all over the world. You also have to leverage what you have around you. Just like Kelvin in the story I told you about. Kelvin used what he had, right? And then you get to work together. You have some skills that other people do not have. You may have some technical skills and you have a friend who's a good storyteller. You come together and you make impact. And you must stay curious. Even as we have technologies today, the technologies we have are improving, and so you must improve too. You have to keep learning. If you have already learned how to design a website using HTML and CSS, for example, you have to learn how to use AI for web development as well, because technologies continue to emerge. I want to give you an example of that. I talked about quantum computing earlier, right? The only difference between a regular computer and a quantum computer is that one is based on quantum mechanics. And so everything that your computer can do right now, a quantum computer will do it faster. I'm talking speed of light kind of fast. And that can help improve predictions in healthcare. Okay? So technology in itself is improving, and that's why you have to always stay open to learning more. So I want you to picture yourself thriving. Picture yourself in the future, creating the kind of impact, the kind of value that would transform lives beyond Lagos State, Nigeria, transform lives across Africa and the world, and ask yourself a question: what am I going to do differently? Using the emerging technologies, using the tools that are now readily available in this age. And if you don't know how to use any of them, then this is the time for you to learn them. So throughout this week, I want you to learn, just observe, look around you, find a problem that you want to fix. And I'm not saying you should go become an entrepreneur right away. I'm talking about you just observing what is around you, even as a student. What do you want to become? An architect. Now, look around you. Look for architects online. Think about the way architects in Nigeria work and find out how they can work better. Can you do that? Now, when you do that, do a research. Think about how you can improve architecture, even as an employee, and go learn a skill in that area. Do you understand the task? Now, I just want to leave by saying SkillBuddy Technologies believes in you. I believe in you. And this is the best time for you to start. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take them.
All right, thank you very, very much, Sophie. Come on, a louder round of applause for Sophia. Come on. Did we learn something? Did we learn something? Are you sure? Are you sure? One thing you learned. Just say it from your seat. Let me just hear. Okay, what else? Okay, what else? Okay. 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 Timo, okay. What else? Okay, round of applause for yourselves. It has been so amazing watching you guys learn on things you will need and use to thrive beyond high school, beyond school generally, and into the world as you grow. Now, of course, we will hear, a few words from our convener himself that has put together this amazing session for all of you to learn from, for all of you to improve, both in your minds, both in your physical, both in your school and in your work. He has put together Thriving Through High School and Beyond. A warm round of applause for Mr. Adura Olayinka.
All right, thank you everyone for joining. It's been a pleasure, putting this together for more than a month now. Speaking to all the lineups and speakers engagement and even school engagement. We got more school than this. We reach out to more school than this, but because it's exam period, some schools are already on holiday, so that's why we couldn't get more, and also because of our space. So I was so strict on approving people who will come. But thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Mr. James. Thank you, all the students. Thank you, all schools, principals who brought their kids here. I'm so glad. And of course, thank you to all my speakers. These people have been amazing. Reaching out to them back to back, following up on their coming and all of that. So yes, it's really, really nice, having everyone. And yes, for the book, sorry, just a second. This will be on the record. Yeah. So yes, this is No Excuse, Your Life, Your Responsibility. So this will actually be my first book that I will be writing. The editor is currently working on it, and after this, I'm very sure I'm going to publish more books, and look further to it. What this just says is that you cannot give excuses of your background. You can't make your family an excuse, or even where you were born, or whatever circumstances you find yourself in. It's basically no excuse. Your life is your responsibility, and nobody will take ownership of the next step. And one of the major facts that I wrote here is that your success is not in the hand of your adversary. Yes, your success is in the hand of, is in your next level. It's right in front of you. So don't think that what will make you succeed is in the hand of your enemy or whatsoever. Yes, it's in the right hand of those who love you, and even yourself, that you love yourself. You just have to take that bold step and step in. And yes, so thank you everyone for joining this. It's been a good time. And the next one, I must say, yes, we are going to do this again. Yes, I'm not going to give up, of course, but this will be more coordinated, and yes, this is my first physical event. I've done a lot of virtual events, but I've learned some lessons, and I'm going to do more. So the next one is October. I'm already planning towards it, so it's not, but this will be more structured and more engaging. There are a lot of lessons I learned, and I'll put them into use, and the next one is going to be greater than this. So thank you, everyone, and God bless you. And thank you to our beautiful host. She's, if you know her, you know her. If you don't know her, go and research her name. You know what her name is. MTV base. Yeah, so she's not a small person. Thank you for saying yes to me. When I was reaching out to her, I was like, Adura, this person you want to put this. So she was like the even last person I reached out to, because I was like, this person. But thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you all my speakers. Thank you. I can't say thank you enough, and thank you to all the schools who attend, all of this. God bless you all, and have a good thriving through the high school experience. Yeah.
Round of applause for Mr. Olainka. You guys have been amazing. I want to say congratulations to you because I believe that you have learned a whole lot that will help you thrive through high school and beyond. I'm so proud of each and every one of you that have sat down here to learn today. If there's one thing I want you to make sure you take back is that you create value. Wherever you find yourself, in the tech space, in the media space, in the corporate world, as a lawyer, an engineer, a mechanical engineer, whatever it is that you find yourself doing, make sure you create value. Of course, be on social media. Thrive on social media because that's what your generation is doing right now. Make money off of social media. Make money off of whatever you do. Create enough value that people see you and they see your worth and your substance, okay? Until the next time I get to meet any one of you, I hope to see you guys at the top. Am I seeing you at the top? Yes. Suck my pearl!